Hey everybody, my name is Jessica Powers and I am going to do a really quick tutorial on how to put the actual Seint makeup on. So in this scenario, you've already been color matched, you have your makeup, you have your, your little compact, and now what do you do next? So this is to help you, guide you for a quick way. There are so many different ways to put on Seint. There are totally different methods, and you're going to find the method that's probably the easiest for you. But this is the quickest and the most standard way to put it on. If you were given demi in your color match from me, this part for the under eye, you will not put the under eye on, and I will actually do another video on how to do demi for under eyes because it's a completely different place for maybe more mature skin, but not everybody creases and not everybody even needs that. So just keep that in mind, that if you were given demi for any of your under eyes, this is not, you'll just need to skip that part, okay? So in the scenario, again, what we're doing is I love our palettes because they're fun, and one of the girls that I love to watch, one of the YouTube girls, is my favorite. She tells me that you eat with your eyes first, and that's totally true. If something looks beautiful and pretty, and I want to do it. So this is my compact, okay? So everybody gets a specific color match for them, and this is for my face, okay? So if you were given a general color match with no demi, or we're not talking about demi, you're going to have a few things. You're going to have two highlight colors. One is a main highlight, which is in Seint land, we call that your foundation. The second one, which is a little bit lighter, is going to be for your highlighting areas. That's going to be for probably part of your bridge of your nose, a little bit on the sides of your eye, maybe a little bit under your eye, kind of anywhere the light hits. So you can kind of see the lighter color will go here, and then we kind of mix them together. You will also be given either a contour or a bronzer, or both. You may have both. I actually use both because contouring is for creating shadow and depth and kind of sculpting, and bronzer is for your warmth because we are not one-dimensional. Our face has so many different colors. This is me with nothing on, okay, besides my eye makeup, and you need warmth to your face. We don't want you all washed out with one color, okay? So that's the other part. So you'll have either a contour and a bronzer, or one or the other, okay? Depending on how we've decided to do your makeup. And the last two pieces you will have is your lip and cheek. So whatever color you have chosen. I have multiple. Sometimes I mix them. I'm actually going to do a little tiny bit of an ombre effect, which is really cool. So I'll show you how I kind of give a little brightness to my cheeks by just using the lip and cheek, which is both. You can put it on lips and you can put it on your cheeks at the same time. And your setting powder, okay? So for me, I have two different colors here. So this is my main highlight. Obviously you can see it's used a lot. And then this is my brightening highlight, okay? And then I have my lip and cheek color, and then my what we call the setting or dusting powder. And that just is a place for your T-zones. I'm very, very oily. I have extremely oily skin, so I like to freshen up with my setting powder. So get your palette out, and we're gonna start with your contour first. It's weird because that's what I start with. So I'm going to put my hair back. Let's get started. I got these little clips, which I thought were so cool when I ordered from my friend who sells Monet. And I was like, these are the coolest little clips ever. And they keep the hair out of my face. So no judging. Here, that doesn't look very attractive. No judging. Okay. So I'm going to start with the contouring. And I actually have several brushes, but I'm only going to use one brush today, and maybe the blush and bronze. So this is the 3D brush. It's normally what I recommend for everybody because it will give you light coverage, medium coverage, or full coverage depending on how much you put on your face. And I love the little pointy brush because I can get into the little smaller areas or use it for contouring, which is what I typically do. And then this is your bronzer and blush brush, and so I kind of like to use this just because I don't want to have to wash it, like wipe it off, which doesn't matter. You can do everything with one brush. We have really awesome cleaning spray that I love using, and I'm not just partial to Seint, but I'm just telling you that it's really good. It doesn't smell bad. It actually smells very coconutty, so I really like it. Okay, but you're gonna really focus on this, but I do a quick what we call the cheetah method or the dot method, which is why my page is called Paint by Dots, because I feel like it's super easy. Now, this is going to be your daily get you quick makeup on, okay? So I have just my eyes done, and I have a very warm color today, so I'm using warm colors. I have browns and some really pretty rustic colors and golds. That's what I'm going for. I have a cream sweater on, so that's the look I'm going for. If you want a cool look, then you will use more purples and pinks and maybe some blues, okay? All right, so 2 colors. Let's start with your brightening highlight. This is not your main one. This is going to be your brightening. Oh, I'm sorry. I said contour. I lied. Well, I just said, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I didn't do that. Okay, so let's start with the contour. Okay, and contours sometimes are kind of hard. They got to be warmed up by your finger. And don't be freaked out by your contour because it probably looks super dark. That is not how dark it's going to be on you when you blend it. Okay, so for contour, majority of people, and I'm using my little mirror over here just because it's hard to see it in the phone. But I do all around, okay, my top of my forehead. And where I typically go with it is when you push your finger and you feel the top of your teeth, that is where your contour should kind of stop and where it should come down, okay? So again, we'll do this on this side. And this is where my teeth, I can feel my gums and my teeth, okay? So that's where I stop. And for sculpting, because I want to have a more snatched jawline, I'm going to do some dots here. This is going to create a really good shadow to make me have a more defined, get rid of that double chin, okay? So that is the only contour I put on. That doesn't mean that you have to stop there, but that is all you typically need. Now, if you want a skinnier bridge of your nose, I'm fine with my nose. I don't need to do anything to my nose. I leave it alone. If you want to have an appearance of a fuller lip, you can do bronzer down here, okay? So there are some people that want a more defined top part of their nose. They put bronzer or contour right here. So just know that there's no one way to do this, but this is typically where your contour would go. Okay, and don't skip this step and don't skip your bronzer because you're going to look washed out. We don't want you to be one-dimensional because that's not what your face is. Your face has multiple dimensions. Okay, so contour on. All right, now I'm going to take my brighter color. If you want to know what colors I am, this is this contour color is, I believe, indigo. So it's actually really dark. And I know that I'm not dark right now, but I got color matched the first time in the summer. And so I just use less of it so it doesn't seem that. And I blend it in really good. My lighter highlight is Aura. And my main highlight is Candle Lit. Everybody's colors are different. So just don't be like, and don't look at it in the tin and go, oh my gosh, that doesn't look right. I promise you when you put it on. Okay, so when I do my lighter highlight, this is where I'm going to do. I'm going to do, you don't need a lot. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 little dots here, maybe in the forehead, right down the middle. And sorry, I'm using my middle finger. I just feel like I have more control over that finger than my first finger. So I'm not trying to, to be inappropriate, okay? I like to highlight in the corners of my eyes and then right on the outside of my eye because it helps brighten that up there. And then I'm going to do right above my lip and some on the chin, okay? That is the lighter color. Now the rest of the space that you see that doesn't have any color is going to be your main highlight, and that is your a little bit darker color, okay? So this is my Candle Lit. So I'm just gonna fill in a couple of spots there so that they can be blended. Okay. You really don't need a lot. Do not, I mean, you should have to be going back and getting more. It's better to put less on and then you can build, okay? Now, you'll see other girls where they do the cheek. That's the only part that I do after, okay? So I don't do that together. It is the only thing that I probably don't follow with Seint in that scent, okay? So just now we're going to be blending. Now I do the contour first and then I blend everything together with the highlight and then I will do one more blend. Okay, so this is all I'm going to do. I'm going to take this part of my brush, of your 3D brush, and I'm just going to connect the dots a little bit together so it's not one. I'm going to make it one kind of fluid color. Okay, getting it into the hairline a little bit. Okay, so you can kind of see what I did. Still not blended in, so don't freak out and be like, oh my gosh, I look terrible. You're not done. Now I'm going to go into the chin, and I'm creating a jawline. This is what I'm doing. Making a jawline, I'm coloring on, making shadows to where there's an appearance that there's no fat there. When we all know there is. Okay, so contour is done. Like, that is somewhat blended, okay? Now I'm going to flip over and use my fluffy part of the brush, okay? And I start here in my T-zone. It does not matter where you start. I have not blended it. I have not blended it with the contour yet. All I'm doing is blending it together. And everybody has a different method, but I don't want to exfoliate my face. So you want to be careful with how hard you're pushing with the brush. When your fingers are down here, you're going to have more pressure, and you're going to notice that your color is going to be smushed a little bit more. I'd say it's a good rule of thumb to keep your fingers and hands about here from your brush. That way you have not too much pressure, but not too little pressure. Because if you're over here, you're going to just be barely touching. Okay, so where you put your hand in your brush is really important. Okay, so I'm probably about right here. Now, if you push too hard and you are circular motions too hard, you will actually exfoliate your skin, and you don't want that. You don't want little pieces of your face to come off when you're doing it. Okay, now, so I kind of do like a light brushing and maybe a stippling effect. Stippling is like this. Light brushing is like this. Circular is like this. Okay, so you're not doing no Karate Kid, no wax on, wax off. It's not too much. You're going to see me do that just with the contour. Okay, so stippling, lightly brushing. You can kind of see the colors. Okay, do the whole highlight. Starting to look good, huh? Not bad for just a tiny bit of cream makeup, and it makes a difference. Another thing I didn't mention, sorry, there's like one piece of hair that's just driving me nuts. One thing I didn't mention is you really have to prep your face. I mean, you see people and you go, oh my gosh, their face is amazing, and you're wondering why they don't have giant pores. It's because they take care of their skin. You need to have some kind of skincare routine. You've got to wash your face. You've got to exfoliate daily with some kind of exfoliant. I don't even care, even if you use like CeraVe or something very affordable. I use Dermalogica, and I mix it with some other items like Cosrx is really good. But please make sure you're taking care of your skin, because if you look in here and you see my pores, you don't really see them as much because I have primed my face. I have a sunscreen on and a very light primer. And I can share with you again what primers I've used. But you need to prep your skin. So, now, look how much brighter I look, okay? And then here's all my highlight is done, okay? Now I still have my contour on, so now I need to blend my contour a little bit, okay? So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to do a little bit more of a circular motion to blend in your contour using like two different mirrors here, okay? So you see I've got this sculpted look, but I don't want to look like complete like Kim Kardashian, so I really need to blend that in. And I do the same thing here. I'm still using the same brush, and I'm brushing downward to blend it into my neck. But look at my jawline. How good does that look? And don't let people say you're catfishing. All you're doing is enhancing. So you can kind of see. Now, and if you notice I have this here, this is like actually my forehead. Because I would be like messing with it. I'm like, oh, that's part of my face. So remember, know your face, okay? And this is a general red spot of mine. And you can actually cover that up. We can do that with demi, or we can add a little bit more foundation. Because even though I just added a little bit more highlight to it. Even though the contour is there, it really makes, see, I just covered it up now. It like enhanced that ugly part of my face, and you don't want that. Okay, so we have blended our contour. We have blended our two highlights, our main and our brightening highlight, okay? And it probably looks like I didn't put a lot on, but look at the difference. Look how good the skin looks, okay? Still looks very natural, okay? Now we're gonna do our lip and cheek. And I'm gonna show you a really, really cool method that I learned on this ombre effect. So you can use two colors. And I'm actually gonna be using, I think this is Madrid. I'll have to check because I don't know all of the color names. This is Madrid. I'm gonna put Madrid here, and then I'm gonna put a lighter color in the middle, and I'm gonna blend them together. So this color is called Petal right here. And there's one coming out on tomorrow for the Saint's birthday, and it's called Audrey, and I wanted it, and it is very similar to Petal, but it has more of an iridescent look, so it looks really good, okay? But we're gonna do a little bit of Petal right here in the rosy part of our cheeks, right here, okay? Then I'm gonna do the other side, okay? So there, starting there, and then I'm gonna add, I believe this is Madrid. You don't need a lot, by the way, because this blush, it's very pretty. But I wanted to keep still the warm color. So you've got two sides. This is your lip and cheek. And you don't have to do this. This is a little extra. You don't have to be extra if you don't want to. But I just think the ombre effect is very pretty, and it gives you some brightness to the middle of your cheeks, and so it gives a glowing effect. So I'm going to start with the middle, and I'm using my blush brush. And I'm just going to kind of fan out the light part, because the second that I touch the dark part, I can't come back to the light part because you're going to blend it this way. Okay, so I'm blending it up. Look how pretty that is. Okay, and remember, as you touch your face, you actually bring blood to the surface. So sometimes people go, oh my gosh, I put too much blush on. Give it a second, because just touching your face with no blush is going to give you a red effect, okay? Boom. So that is done. Now my blush is on. Not super heavy, but you can add more if you want to. And for lipstick, if you want to do both colors, you can, but I'm not really wearing a pinky kind of color, so I just have a very simple gloss on with like nothing on. And they have a really pretty gloss that's just clear. It's called our lip conditioner, but I don't really want any color because I'm going to be going to eat. But if I want to add a little bit, which is still the warmth, this is actually called Sunshine State. It is one that never came back. I don't even know if we can get it, but it is just this very pretty iridescent gloss. You can do anything. You don't even have to use Seint if you don't want to. But I wanted a warm color, and this is warm because I'm wearing browns and things like that. Now, one last step, if you got an illuminator, you can add illuminator in certain places on your face, but demi is really fun for that. And one of these is called 01, and I love 01 because if you don't know what demi is, it's a whole nother thing. I'm not going to get into it, but demi is less opacity or opacity, however you want to say it, and there's not a lot of pigment. So it's going to be very, very light. And this 01 is a brightener, and you can kind of do any either illuminator like there on your nose, down the bridge right there. You can do right here by your eyes, which will help. You see how that brightened it up right there? You can do this with your highlight as well, but I just happen to have this one. And then right here on top of your lip, just gives you a little bit of a brightness, okay? Last step is going to be our setting powder, okay? You can use any, I use just a separate brush for setting powder, but you can even use any of our brushes. It doesn't matter. I just didn't want to clean it right now. But this is, I think, just a Morphe brush. It's just like this. And I rub it in the setting dust, which, because I said I'm oily, and I set underneath my eyes. I set my T-zone. my chin. Okay, this is all you have to do for a regular basic look, okay? That's it. Now, how much different does that look than you putting liquid foundation on or a big thing of cream and this is your skin. This is what your skin looks like, and your skin can look like this if you apply the products without piling it on your face, because we are perfect imperfections when we put our makeup on, and we have to be comfortable with that. Me explaining took 20 minutes, but that's not going to take you 20 minutes now that you know how to do it. And it's going to take a few days. Everybody has a different method. You may not like the way I did that. You may want to put the brush directly in there. That's fine. You have to find your way to do it. But this is a very quick, I'm ready to go anywhere with my makeup done like this. And it is all in one compact. I had some other stuff in here because I, put a little look together, but they're all magnetic. You can move it around. And if you are watching this and you have not been color matched by me, all you have to do is, if you want to PM me, DM me, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm still a Facebook person, so I'm not good at the verbiage. But if you want to send me a message and text me the word color match, or if you go to my bio, there is a link tree. Click there, and you can also submit your color match, and I will create a customized palette for you to be able to meet your needs, whatever your skin needs are and everything. So I hope you all have an amazing night. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back soon with some more tutorials. Bye.